is that when you look across the entire NFL landscape, when you look at Seattle, the teams that are thought to be among the best, they all have problems. Seattle has problems. Tampa has problems. The Saints have had problems. Pittsburgh has problems. The Chiefs barely squeaked by Carolina yesterday.
Yep.
It's like you're really looking at the landscape as to where it is right now. You really can't tell exactly who's the best team, which I think is good because that'll make the playoffs more interesting. But every week when we go ahead and crown a conference champion or Super Bowl champion, they turn right around and look like anything other than that. And that's what the Steelers are showing me too.
I agree. The Packers did the same thing to me on a couple of occasions.
Yes.
Yeah, the Packers, we thought that they were like, Aaron Rodgers is back. He's doing his thing. And then he started throwing pick sixes to the Buccaneers. So you're right. We don't know. I mean, of course, we knew the Seahawks had issues. Their biggest issue is that their coach, which we can transition into them really quickly.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, their biggest issue is that Pete Carroll relies heavily too much on Russell Wilson to do everything. His defenses are really bad. The schemes aren't going very well, and they don't have any pass rushers. It's either him or the general manager. One of the two of them got to figure out how to get them a weapon on the defensive side.
But yesterday was Russ's fault because he turned the ball over 4 times. I think it was like the Lamar game against the Steelers.
Yeah.
2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. And the thing about it is this actually may have been – I won't say this clearly wasn't the best defensive game that the Seattle Seahawks defense played, but they got after the quarterback better than any other game this season. They had 7 sacks in this game. And this is against a quarterback who's mobile, who's big and strong.
It's also against a quarterback that's susceptible to getting sacked on a regular basis. So I can't really give the Seahawks credit for sacking Josh Allen when Josh Allen is known for getting sacked. You know what I'm saying? It's like me giving them credit for getting interceptions or causing him to fumble the ball. That's what Josh Allen does.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? I can't give you those points.
I mean, that's a good point. Well, you got to give me half those points because coming into this game, collectively, let's see, I think 8 games they only had 13 sacks as a team. So for you to get 7, more than half of what you had coming into the game, that has to mean something. I mean, I just don't understand this team. You have Bobby Wagner, who may be the best linebacker in football. You have Jamal Adams, who may be the best safety. You get Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals, who's just ecstatic to be out of town and has been a good pass rusher. I don't get why this team isn't better on defense. I do not understand it, especially with a defensive coach and Pete Carroll.
When did Dunlap come? Last week, right?
Yesterday was his first game.
Okay, so I'm going to have to give him a week.
Okay.
Next week, I think things change. They can probably change their schemes to where it works. But they didn't do enough to contain Josh Allen, who Josh Allen ended up having 415 yards and 3 touchdowns. So the question really out there is did he just add to his MVP resume?
I don't think so because he's real up and down. So here's what happened with Josh Allen. The first 4 games, nobody knew what to do with him. He was all-world. He was the MVP. Then the 3 to 4 games after that, right, is when he sort of took a dip because people had tape on him. They were trying different things. So now that he's figured that part out, potentially, now these next 3 to 4 games, he's going to be really good. I mean, and that's kind of the way it should be, especially with young quarterbacks. They throw different things out at you. You and your coaching staff figure it out, and then you make them have to do that all over again because now you're blasting them all over the field. What they were doing isn't going to work anymore.
Well, yeah. Coming up, they're traveling to Arizona on Sunday. Okay. Then they have the Chargers coming to them. They travel to San Francisco. They've got 2 out of 3 of those basically handed to them.
Wins, yes.
And then they have the Steelers, which is going to be a tough one on a Sun. Looks like a Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night on NBC.
Okay.
And then you got the Broncos and Patriots both on the road, and then Dolphins at home.
That might be a toughie.
Yeah, last game of the season. So there's a chance that Buffalo may go 13-3 or 12-4. The way that they're playing now. Now I have to give them props on this because I said that they were going to start tanking at this point, but at the same time, they tend to have a tendency of losing to teams that aren't good. Like the Chargers, the Cardinals. They're traveling to the Cardinals, who are the exact same record. They're 6-3. The weird part about the Cardinals is that their defense is just really bad. Like that defense is not what I expected coming into the season. And same thing with the Chargers. Their defense, for some weird reason, is they're 15th ranked in DVOA as far as defense as far as the Chargers go.
Joey Bosa had a concussion. He didn't play. I'm telling you, Derwin James keeps getting hurt every single year, but he is maybe the 2nd or 3rd best safety in football. Without him, they're not competitive. Just like Chandler Jones, who's led the league in sacks collectively over the last 3 seasons, like combined sacks. They're without him for the rest of the season as well.
I don't know. We have to see what it looks like, but I got to give it to Josh Allen. He is adding to his MVP resume, and he didn't turn the ball over this week, so that is a big plus for the Bills. I promise you guys will win a lot of games and a lot more games as long as he doesn't turn the ball over. And defensively, your defense is super stout. So